Finally, Dave, we haven't done this in a while, but, they say we all live in our own heads, but sometimes I wonder when it comes to political coverage whether that applies to our own biases as well. Those who think in all my travels around the country with the presidential candidates, and of course here in New York, I'm too tough on one candidate, others who insist I'm not tough enough, those who think I'm in the tank for Donald Trump, others who insist I have it out for Donald Trump or Cruz or Rubio or Kasich or Sanders or Clinton, you name it, I have heard it. And then this past weekend, it kind of all hit a crescendo when I was here on Saturday providing live campaign coverage that included a Donald Trump speech in Ohio that, like the one the night before, got a little rowdy. At issue whether Trump brings out the protesters or the protesters just come out and take it out on Trump. Consider these extreme responses. Karen T. in St. Louis, Cavuto, as if turning my stomach during the week isn't enough. Now you invade my weekends with your left-wing patter, blaming these incidents on Trump. Sheila in Cleveland, hey, toupee head, quit blaming these incidents on Trump. He's not the problem. Lying so-called journalists like you inflating stuff way out of proportion are. Tim in the Bronx, hey, stupido, man up and just admit your idol, Donald Trump, is instigating these guys. It's clear as that fat nose on your fat face of yours. Are you calling me fat? Sharon via Gmail, you and your colleagues come across as pro-Trump. Cavuto, do something before you lose our respect. He is a thug. Steve via me.com, I always like watching you, but lately I've come to change my mind. You're a butt, and I don't like your questioning people about Trump. Ron Ortiz via me.com, I cannot believe you put President Reagan and Donald Trump on the same level. I know you have a bromance for Trump, but you should control yourself. I was talking about expectations for either candidate. The other side relished Ronald Reagan in 1980 and regretted it, and the other side relishes Donald Trump and might regret it. And then there's Jillian via MSN. I watched you all morning as you fixated on your hero Trump, and not once did you even bother to talk to or cover any of the other candidates. Are you blind? No, Jillian, are you? My gosh, I had both John Kasich and Marco Rubio on during that coverage. Maybe you missed it. Let's just say some others were angry because they did not miss it. Gloria via iCloud. Cavuto must be so desperate that he interviews loser Rubio during Trump's rally. Quit giving a lot of time to losers. Be fair and balanced. Then there's W. Lichtenberg via Verizon. Thank you for muting Trump and talking to Marco Rubio. I am sick of Trump talking. Casey via Yahoo. How do you explain cutting into a very good Donald Trump speech for Rubio? You're a hack and a fat hack at that. Get a clue, loser boy. Again with the fat. Tammy in New York City. You have the nerve to cut into a Trump speech to talk to one of the other loser candidates? You're the loser, Cavuto, and a Trump hater that makes this Trump lover wish you were dead. Okay. Billy Joe emails, this is why God gave you a serious illness, punk. He hates hypocrites, just like I hate you for clearly hating Trump. And karma, you-know-what, establishment boy. Who you calling the establishment boy? Kathy via optum.net. Now I know why Trump does not want to go on your show. Anyone with a brain knows not to blame Trump for violence. Cliff in San Francisco. Would it kill you to at least posit the possibility that Trump's fiery language might incite the protesters? No. You're too busy residing up Trump's tush to ever get to the truth. Enjoy the flames in hell, fat boy. Well, you lose weight. It gets very hot. Cliff in New Rochelle. Hey, Cavuto, didn't you just sign a new contract at Fox? Does it also stipulate you have to keep sucking up to Mr. Trump? Just asking. Enjoy your millions, Judas. Well, at least not fat. Joe via Gmail. Come on, Neil. We know you love Jack Welch, and admittedly, he's a great CEO, but Trump is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Joe, Mr. Welch is supporting Ted Cruz. Mike via Live.com. Neil, you're a sellout. I used to think you were the best. You're completely against Trump, and that is sad. Either be fair and balanced or find another job. Scott via MSN. Stop blasting Trump and blaming him for others' behavior. I did not think you were so ignorant. Well, I can't surprise you. Steve in Washington, you always pride yourself on reaching out to all the candidates. I don't care about the other candidates. They're all lemmings. I only care about Donald Trump. Then there's Haley in Baton Rouge. Why haven't you once, just once, talked to Ted Cruz? Well, I have, Haley, several times, just like I have all the candidates. Tipper in Chicago. I so remember you dismissing Trump when he first announced he was running for president. I guess you were wrong on that one, hey, Cavuto? No, Tipper, I guess you were wrong. Maybe because you missed this comment, and many like it, when Mr. Trump first entered the presidential race. To those of you who are going to dismiss the real estate developer who says he's worth north of $9 billion, do so at your own peril. This is a man who has fooled bankers and creditors and risen from the ashes time and time again. But think what you will. Ron in San Diego, I have never known you to be anything but fair and professional. Tell all these bashers to go to hell. Hey, all you bashers, Ron says you should all just go... forget it, because there's Austin via Hotmail. Neil's voice is awful. Is he a smoker or a drinker? He's obviously anti-Trump. Well, 2 out of 3. I have no idea. Tim via AOL. Neil sounds like Pee Wee Herman, the way he goes on and on about how much he loves Donald Trump. Sickening. Really? Randy O via Comcast. You just have to be the stupidest anchor at Fox. I'm not. Gerald R. emails, recognize your error and stop your support of Trump. Claire in Rhode Island, be a man and stop bashing Donald Trump. Tom and Gloria in the Villages, Florida. We both think you should resign for being smug. Well, it's a different theme. I appreciate that. Thomas via Verizon.net. Neil, just moved to MSNBC. You're halfway there already. Jim in Birmingham, Alabama. You told Larry Sabato that you remember 1968 well. You were only 9 years old. Were you that aware about political unrest at that time? Most 9-year-old boys were thinking about other things in 1968. I am amazed. And so you should be, Jim, because that is the gospel truth. I really was aware and glued to my TV during that Democratic convention in 1968. It's weird, but having no friends, it was easy to just be mesmerized by the TV. Now, I know what you're thinking, but whether it was the violence or just signs of a budding nerd who would become a broadcast news superhero, well, I was just really into it. My parents worried a lot. To which Donna in Boston writes the following. Neil, you strike me as a guy who wasn't very lucky with the ladies growing up, were you? Let me guess, all loser all the time. Tell me where I'm wrong. Well, on that case, Donna, sadly, you're not wrong. I can't tell you all the girls who turned me down for the prom before my mom blessedly said yes. But she insisted on being back by 10 p.m. Now, the point of all these emails and the point of all these exchanges is to illustrate the point that obviously you see things through the prism of maybe a bias you have or a perceived bias you have, and that is fine. But since one candidate, I think Donald Trump, refuses to do this show, and other candidates wince and get annoyed from some what I consider fair and balanced questioning, I pick no favorites and bash no single fool. That's fair and balanced. But these fat comments have got to stop. On Pluto, I'm svelte.